Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be talking about raising your vibrations. What can we do to raise our vibrations, and why is it so important? You hear so many people that often speak about raising your vibrations. Let me just adjust this camera here. But we want to know, like, why is it so important for us to raise our vibrations? Like, what does that even mean? Essentially, raising your vibrations is you transmuting negative energy out of your life, not holding on to a low vibration, because a negative vibration is a low vibration. Negative things tend to happen to individuals who hold on to a very negative or low vibration. When we rise our vibration up, we are also lifting up our consciousness, and our consciousness is what creates a spiritual awareness of everything that's around us. It creates a better understanding of yourself and why you're here on earth and your mission. And so I think a lot of people still struggle with raising your vibrations, and in the world that we're living in right now specifically, it is very difficult to raise your vibrations. A lot of people are struggling with that because, again, the media puts out stories, or you have online trolls if you're in an online public figure, or you have somebody that's negative in your family, like a pessimist, and or you have other family members, or friends that are just like that. And this can lower our vibrations and affect us in so many ways, like so many ways. So I always say it's so important to raise your vibrations. And how does one raise your vibration? Like, how do you do that for yourself? The first thing is creating a time for yourself. The biggest thing that I've learned throughout my life and out of my spiritual journey here on earth is that sometimes we don't set enough time apart for ourselves. We're so driven sometimes to just keep going and doing and helping other people, but you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. And it's so important that you set some time for yourself apart. How do you do that? Some of you are like mothers to, and single parents, and a lot of you have a lot of other baggage or problems in your life that you're holding on to, and you're asking yourself, well, how can I, set some time apart for myself? In the morning, set your alarm at least 15 minutes earlier than what you normally had. And those 15 minutes, and then set another one for 15 minutes later. And that moment where your first alarm goes off, you can just lay in bed and meditate and just stay with your eyes open and see what happens. In most cases, a lot of you are going to fall back asleep and then be reawoken. And if you do fall like that, and fall into that category, you can always just take a few minutes. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes or 10 minutes. It can be simple as 5 or 2 minutes. As you're getting ready and you're showering, a lot of people shower in the morning. Some people shower in the afternoon. Whenever you're showering in the shower, you can picture that as like white gold or gold light. I like to use a lot of gold light because that connects you to Metatron. And you can envision that water that's pouring over you. And you can also say, I wash away all negativity. This water is blessed, and I wash away all negativity. All negativity is washed away. That's kind of one of the ways to kind of ground yourself. It's like a meditation. It's called a shower bath meditation. You can do that as well. Another thing that you can do to raise your vibrations, it's so important, it's like the food that you eat. It's always good to bless your food, especially if, like, I grew up in a Catholic type of family, and then I also shifted into Baptist before following my spiritual path. And one of the things that we were always taught was to always bless our food. And so a lot of people that are eating meat, a lot of those animals that have gone through some type of trauma or being scared, a lot of that is carried into the meat that we eat. Now, that's why a lot of people turn to veganism or being vegan or a vegetarian. But if you are coming from good intentions, you can also speak blessings into the water that you drink. You can put, there are like containers that they sell now that you can actually put your water in, and it's like filled with a crystal, and it charges your water. There's a lot of things that you can do to raise your vibration, but it's very, very important to, like I said, set some time apart for yourself, but also the food that goes into you. that all carries a vibration. Sustenance, what are you putting into your body? Are you putting cigarettes into your body? I have nothing against people that smoke, or people that drink. But what are you putting inside of your body that is going to potentially hurt it in some kind of way? This is why a lot of people are very careful with their body, because our body is the only vessel that we have. And so a lot of people struggle, and we eat. And like if you are out there and you are someone like myself that loves food, and you've eaten like a lot of junk food, a lot of you will notice that whenever you've eaten junk food, that you don't feel good. I know before I was diagnosed as a diabetic, thank God I'm pre-diabetic now, I was able to reverse that through clean eating and kind of changing my diet completely around. There's a couple of days that I do, still cheat and whatnot. But I remember going back, I was getting like lightheaded, I was getting a lot of head pain, my blood pressure was uncontrolled because of the fact that I was eating a lot of unhealthy things like sugar. Sugar is so addicting, it is so addictive, it is like really, really bad for you. And so it's good to eliminate that, and if you can go sugar-free, that's even better. But again, there's a lot of natural sweeteners or natural ways of getting sugar if you still need a sugar fix. But it is one of those things that's very addicting, and these are the things that I feel like a lot of people are not talking about. But it's so important. What we eat has a big potential on our actual system and the way that we feel. If we don't feel good, sleep is another thing to raise your vibration. If you're running on 2 hours of sleep, honey, you're not going to feel good at all. You're going to feel like crap. You're not going to feel motivated. You're going to feel kind of sluggish. You're not going to have the ability to concentrate well and get your job done. So it's very important that you actually get enough sleep, okay? These are the fundamental things that I think a lot of people already know, a lot of you out there know, but a lot of times it's not that you don't know it, it's applying it into your life. Because we have grown up in a society where a lot of us make so many excuses. Have a date night with yourself. That's part of what I was talking about earlier, about setting some time for yourself. When was the last time you watched your Netflix? If you have a lot of family around you and they all want to, there's just one big TV, set up a schedule, organize it, that each person gets to watch an hour, 30 minutes of what they want, and maybe alternate, certain days someone has control over the programming, the next day the other person has control of the programming, or get on demand. Most cable companies offer on demand, and you can actually plug in your headphones and go on your smartphone and look at the shows that you want. So, it's all about kind of organizing and coming to communication. Picking and choosing your battles is one of the biggest things that I want to talk about here on raising your vibration. You can't raise your vibration if you're constantly arguing with someone or people know how to push your buttons, because trust me, there's a lot of people out there that are easily triggered. A lot of people that are looking at my videos, they are easily triggered. Not because of what I'm saying, but because maybe they don't like who I am as a person, and I can't control that. And I'm not going to try to make someone happy or make someone like me. The same thing with you out there. A lot of us are people pleasers, and when you are a people pleaser and you are trying to please everyone and you don't want anyone to hate you or to dislike you, you're setting yourself up for lowering your vibration. Because when you do that and someone doesn't like you, you read a comment, or they communicate with you in some way. Maybe you have a coworker that's very hostile in your work environment and they treat you like crap. That's going to lower your vibration immediately because you're taking it to heart. Remember, people's opinions of you are only a projection of themselves, an unhealed portion of their souls. We have no control over that. We can't change that at all. We can only control how we operate, our intentions, and what is our purpose here on earth, okay? That's very, very important that you understand that. Spending time out in nature, getting out of your environment. A lot of you work in an office. A lot of you are now working from home due to this pandemic. If you're looking at this video in May of 2020 when I'm filming it. So a lot of you are probably working from home, okay? There's a couple of you that are probably working out in the field, out in an office. But if you're working out in the office and you sit behind a cubicle all day and you don't get to go out at all, you are kind of like keeping trapped energy around you, and it lowers your vibration. Your environment has a big play on your vibration, and you cannot raise your vibration if your environment is not in alignment. So it's very important for you to get out and take breaks. Take your breaks. If they are given to you, take your breaks. A lot of people, I know when I used to work in a corporate office, I would never take my breaks, and I would sit through it, and I needed to pee, and I needed to go to the restroom, and I would hold it, and I would hold it until the end of the shift, because I had so much work to get through that I didn't even want to lose like 2 minutes. And that was part of the things that I had to change within myself, and acknowledge that I am a human being, and that I deserve to go to the restroom, and that the breaks are being given for a reason, you know. And then after that job closed down and we were laid off, I had to go and work at another place that did not give me breaks. So that was actually very, very hard, because I went from going to a place that gave you breaks to a place that you didn't get any more breaks at all. And it was just kind of like an awakening for me on what I took for granted. So don't take for granted any time, especially if you are kind of flexible and you're working from home as a teacher, or, you know, someone that's working for a company. Take some time for yourself. Get some snacks. Water. We are comprised of so much water in our body, but a lot of us don't drink it. We hate water. We don't like the taste of it. Well, there's really no taste to it. And some water, honey, it has taste, and very bad taste. So a lot of us turn to water bottles, filtration systems, but a lot of us don't really consume enough water. Spirit is a spiritual conduit, and one of the ways to raise your vibration is to drink water, like I said and mentioned earlier as well. To do that, it's very, very important. When you're feeling down, or you're feeling something negative coming on, or you were given some kind of news, try to think of something in that moment that is positive to counteract that energy, okay? Because life is not always consumed by the negative things that have happened to us. Maybe you were blessed, or you had a fun moment that you remember. Think about that, because half of our battles are up here. They're not here in the heart. They're up here. It's a mental battle, and mental illness is very, very real, and it's much something that you don't have to be ashamed about if you're going through any kind of mental issues, or depression or anxiety. It's very real. I can tell you, because I've suffered from anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and I can tell you they're not pleasant. They're very, very scary, and in the moment you can't control it. You can't, but the only thing that they tell you to kind of control is your thoughts. And so one of the things that worked for me in controlling that was also shifting my thoughts away from my current situation, where I feel like I'm asphyxiating, and actually focus on something positive, like a good moment. Like my college graduation was just a good moment for me, or you know, the accolades, my first time being published in a magazine. You know, it's the little things that we look at, and we can kind of analyze, like those pivotal moments. Maybe for you it's your wedding anniversary, memories of your dance, of the dance that you did with your father during your wedding, or maybe it's the moment that you got proposed to, and it's a special thing for you. It's finding those things. And again, I don't expect all of you to finish looking at this video and think, oh, well, I've already mastered how to do this, you know, I got this, I can wing it. Because the fact of the matter is that a lot of you out there, it's going to take time and for you to implement what works for you. I'm just giving you like a little bit of an examples of how to raise your vibrations, and I could go on and on and on, but it's like the basic things. Working with crystals, I'm a big believer in crystals and the healing properties of crystals and how they can help you. A lot of women wear them stuffed in their bras. A lot of men wear them stuffed in their pants. A lot of people wear crystals on their hands. Like, look at me, I got bling here, I got all kinds of rings. I got tanzanite, I got moldavite, I have amber on these two rings, like a yellow amber and a more of a cognac color of amber, and I have an amber bracelet. Can you see that? Hold it up. Ain't that pretty? I love crystals, and the reason that I use amber, because that is one of the crystals that kind of helps us deal with our anxieties, and it helps to really relieve a lot of stress, and it helps us overall with our whole body in many ways. Another favorite of mine is Prenite, and if you're a healer out there that does Reiki, you're a nurse, a doctor, or someone of that in that field, a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, Prinite is going to be a good stone for you, a good crystal, because it is a stone to heal a healer. So a lot of us spend our time and energy healing other people, and we never heal ourselves. We don't take time for ourselves. You can raise your vibration by doing something good for someone else, giving them a compliment. You're like, well, gee, how is that going to help me? Well, it's not about, if you have true intentions and good intentions, it's not about you. It's about lifting someone else up, and in that process, you may have changed somebody's life in that moment. You don't know. We don't know what people are going through just because we see them on the street or we see them in the store and they're smiling. A lot of people hide things very well. They could be going through the worst moments in their life, but they're not. You're not necessarily going to pick up on that. And this is why I say it's so important to just do something to raise your vibration. It's the little things that you do that brings a lot of good energy to you and helps you raise your vibration. Walking barefoot. Like, when was the last time that you didn't wear socks or shoes inside? Walking barefoot in your own, living space, or even walking outside barefoot. How many of you don't walk barefoot at all because maybe you have just concrete? But if you can go to some place like a park, when you're in the park, wear some sandals and then just take them off and walk barefoot on the grass, connecting. It's called earthing. You're connecting with Mother Gaia, with Mother Earth, and it's very, very important to do that from time to time. Something as simple as taking a salt bath, or going to the ocean and just walking in the ocean with your feet, just on the edge of the shore. It's something that you could do, just getting your feet wet for a moment and then getting out. It's very, very important, because I feel like a lot of that will cleanse your energy. Using protection oils, using sage, Palo Santo. These are good ways to raise your vibration as well. And not a lot of people are like, how can that really raise your vibration? I thought it's like to cleanse your energy. But if you don't have clean energy, your vibration is going to be affected. It's going to be lowered. That's the reason that I am making this video, so that way you can have tips and techniques on how to raise your vibration. I know a lot of you are used to my celebrity readings and me doing those kind of readings, which I still love to do. But I also want to kind of bring you some videos and content that help you elevate yourself, your consciousness, and empower you, so that you have the tools necessary to be very much someone that is aligned in their power and standing in their power. One of the things that my friend Pam Williams, who's a beautiful soul, she's my co-host of Twitch's Talk podcast, and a longtime friend. I consider her like soul family to me. She had told me, we sometimes fear, and fear lowers your vibration. You cannot fear, the outcomes. If you are going through a health ailment, or you have some kind of disease, or you have someone in your family that's going through a disease, you cannot, don't claim that disease. It's not yours. Even if it's in your body, it's not yours. You want to speak health. I am healthy, and say that every day, a couple of times. I am healthy, because the words that we speak are spells. The words that we speak have power, and whatever we speak through here, or we think up here, it actually affects you, and it affects your energy and your vibration. Again, why it's so important to elevate your vibration. It's just so important to do that. So I hope that you took a lot away from this video. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much. I'm very excited about Friday to reopen my readings again to you. Please go to my Instagram and follow me at Psychic Medium Ray. And then also, if you're interested in joining my Patreon, it's only $1.99 per month. And these are the kind of things that I teach on my Patreon. So feel free to join my Patreon and become part of the Patreon family to get exclusive content that is not shared here on my YouTube channel, but that is shared on my Patreon. And as well, as always, stay positive, stay rooted in your faith, and have love in your heart. Blessings and love and light. God bless you all. Until next time. Bye.